Welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So The Irishman is a movie that I and many other people have been patiently waiting for, and now it's out on Netflix. So the movie is directed by Martin Scorsese, stars Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, and so many other wonderful actors and actresses. Now, I'll just come right and say that this movie is phenomenal. It's fantastic. You should watch it. End of story. And so the movie is based upon a book called So I Heard You Paint Houses, and this is based upon real people. And so the main person here is Frank Sheeran, or the Irishman, and it talks about how he went from the military over to being a truck delivery driver, and then somehow ended up in the mob family with the Buffalinos, and of course with Jimmy Hoffa. And in the book, it kind of says that Frank Sheeran is the one who murdered Jimmy Hoffa. Not sure if that's true or not, but that's the general story. And even though that in itself is fascinating, that's really not what the movie is about. It's about something that's way deeper than that. And that gets into the first thing that I absolutely love about this movie, and that is the directing by Martin Scorsese. He takes a story that I would say is fairly simple in nature, but makes it more than that. It's really about the consequences of living this life of, criminal life, underground, being in the gangs, and how that really affects everybody, not just the people involved, but most importantly, the families and everybody that they love around them, and the consequences of living that life. It's a really dark story, and it's completely opposite of what you would think of if you thought of like Casino or Goodfellas, which showed more of the glamorous life of this whole gangster underworld life, which is not what this movie tells. There's so many moments where Martin Scorsese would take something that's very simple and then just show you how morbid that is. For example, a lot of the people that you meet and the characters, he'll do like still frame shots of a character and then tell how they were murdered and how they died. And it does that a lot through the movie, and that's on purpose. And by Martin Scorsese doing that, he shows you that this life doesn't end well. And at about 3 hours and 30 minutes, it's an epic. And so Martin Scorsese really takes his time into showing you the different stages of this life through the eyes of Frank Sheeran, and then through the eyes of his family. Most importantly, his daughters. He has multiple daughters in this movie, but the main one it focuses on is Peggy, played by Anna Paquin as she gets older, but also the younger version as well. And it shows how this really affects the overall relationship of him and his wife and his kids. And that's a theme that goes throughout the movie, and I love that. And I think in the hands of people who are not like Martin Scorsese, this would have been very simple and probably very predictable. But with Martin Scorsese directing this, it's just so masterful, and it's just a spectacular for me to watch because I was so invested and I felt so many emotions just from that alone. And so that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing is the acting. Everybody involved in this movie, from the main actors, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, to also other supporting actors and actresses such as Ray Romano and of course Anna Paquin, and everybody else. The acting here is superb. This is top notch, top class. And the main reason why I say that is because they emote so many things from you. It's not just what they say, it's what they don't say. And I'll go back to the relationship between Frank Sheeran, Robert De Niro's character, and his daughter Peggy, played by Anna Paquin. But even when she's younger, it's just a lot of things that are not said. And even though his daughter doesn't get much screen time or not many words, it's part of that story. How it shows like this type of life means that he's not going to be around his family. He's not going to be able to develop a relationship. And that causes a lot of strain later on, and there's consequences to that. And that's a very important thing because this movie doesn't try to glamorize that. Everybody who is involved in this world ends up badly, poorly, and that's really the message that he's trying to send with this movie. And it's really just fascinating for me to see these characters throughout these different stages of their life, to see how slowly but surely it's not going to end really well, and in some cases abruptly and really horribly. And all of those things make you feel something, and you are completely invested in these actors and actresses, in the characters that they play, just in this world. And this could not have been done if they didn't have this masterclass acting. And for me, this is some of the best acting that I've ever seen out of Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Al Pacino. And for me personally, I enjoyed Robert De Niro's performance the best. It's really understated and subtle, and I love that because you really couldn't tell what he was thinking and how he was feeling. And then when you get to Joe Pesci, normally in these type of roles, he's always the explosive, crazy firecracker. In this movie, he's not that, but he's really menacing and powerful at the same time. He just says things with his eyes, with gestures or just a few words. You know that things are going to get bad. Whenever Joe Pesci's his character is going to be involved, and he's part of the Buffalino family, and so that was Joe Pesci part. And then Al Pacino as Jimmy Hoffa. Well, if you love Al Pacino, you're going to love his portrayal of Jimmy Hoffa because it's right there. It's all out there. Just craziness, bombastic, but at the same time, just charged with a lot of emotion and passion. And I love that. And there really isn't anything else I could say about the acting. It's just awesome, top notch. You love it, okay? And so the final thing is all the technical stuff. The cinematography, the screenplay by Steve Zalian, the costume design, the music, the sound effects, things such like cereal or people pounding their hands on a table or crumbling paper, all those things together. This world is so breathable. It's living. I don't even know the words that I could express. If you love movies, you love film, you could just watch it 3 hours, 30 minutes and learn so much. And there's going to be many times I'm going back to this movie just from a technical point of view, just trying to learn how did they do this stuff, because it is done that well. You're dealing with the best of the best. Once again, it's just a great overall experience. And those are the main things that I love about this movie. There's probably countless things that I can think about, but I want to try to keep those main points short. For fast website hosting and top-notch customer service and features, check out Siteground, the preferred service used at geekoutdoors.com. For more information, check out the affiliate link in the description area below. And so getting into the things that I didn't enjoy as much, honestly, about the only thing that I would have loved to have is to watch this on a bigger screen. That's about it. I don't know if this is going to be available in Blu-ray in the future, but I hope it is. But everything else in this movie, I loved. So basically, it was almost a flawless movie for me. And the whole de-aging thing, it didn't affect me because after a few minutes, you forgot about it. And that's the mark of a great movie, where they use effects to help tell the story and you just forget about it. But if I had to think about it technically, it was done amazingly well, especially as the characters got older. And so those are my overall thoughts on this movie. For me, it's pretty much a perfect movie. I love this movie. I love Martin Scorsese. I love all the actors and actresses, the story, everything. You should just watch this movie. And despite it being 3 hours and 30 minutes, you have it at home on Netflix. So you can just pause it and then come back and watch it. But if you can, I highly recommend that you watch as much of it in one sitting as you can, because there's a lot of things that you might miss or you might get taken out of it if you have to take a lot of breaks. And so if you had any of your own thoughts on The Irishman, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Hey geeks, if you are a creative geek like me and you wanted to learn how to create content on YouTube and other places on the internet, then check out my Go Content Creators Group, where you'll get access to additional videos and content for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part of it is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Go Content Creators Group. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.